lost thoughts lead you astray. Then I cry, then I feel pain. Why do I suffer so much? I would love to feel your touch. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so, so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so, so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so, so lost without you. Baby, I don't know where to go. I feel so, so lost without you. Save me before I pass out. Save me before I pass out. Before I pass out. Before I pass out. When I see you there, and my heart goes blind. When I see you there, and my heart goes blind.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into the final round of Apollo Racing Club IndyCar action here this evening on Madam EV500. Joining me here is going to be James Williamson all the way across the pond. And we are ready for some great action here in the finale here at Apollo Racing Club. Tonight we are at Phoenix. Current temperature, air temperature 25 degrees Celsius, partly cloudy with a wind of 3 kilometers per hour. And the track temperature showing about 27 degrees Celsius, so a little bit of a warmer track, but it's going to provide, hopefully, with some great racing. James, the championship already decided with Brody Gardner taking the championship last week at Watkins Glen. Tonight, he's not even on the roster, so he must have just said thank you for the championship, and we'll move on.
Yeah, he settled it all last week, so he's decided to have a well earned rest. But the drivers who are here will be looking to put on a show for the final round, trying to get a bit of momentum maybe for next season.
It's going to be very interesting here in this final race. A couple positions still up to grabs, of course. We have fifth place still up to grabs. We have Cody Barrett and Woody Mahan in the championship standings currently, who are fighting against each other, only about 5 points separating the two. 237 points for Woody Mahan and 232 for Cody Barrett. So now it's time to get into qualifying. It's a 2-lap qualifying here. Mark Feeney being the first one out the gates.
Yep, it's obviously two lap qualifying. You need to set a lap both times. It's going to be all about who can wring out the most out of the car on the first lap. Mark Feeney probably a bit too generous on the wall there. You really need to basically use every inch of the track out of turn 3 and 4. But he's also taken a way too wide a line through 1 and 2. So not the best start for Mark. But we'll see what he can do.
Shifts down to gear to 6 coming out of turn 4. Through the dog leg he goes. First lap is complete. Matt Carroll putting up a purple sector 2. Now purple sector 1 for Woody Mahan. And we'll continue to kind of go through the field here. Of course, qualifying is very quick on ovals because they only got 2 laps to get it done. Matt Carroll putting up another purple sector, gets taken away. And now we're going to hopefully be seeing this, start to see some times. Matt Carroll at 19.3 puts him on the pole with Mark Feeney in second. Let's head over to Craig Bray. Not a good season, not a great season from him, I would say. So he's looking to definitely improve on that. Woody Mahan goes on to the pole with a 19.144. Gregory Shaw with a 119.273 and a return of Gregory Shaw. Now, and a terrible run there out of the dog leg for Craig Bray. That's going to definitely hit him. Colin Kinzer's now crossing the line here. Let's see here where he is at. He's currently only on his, he just got done with his first lap, going to go to his second lap. Let's see what else other times are going to be coming through here. Jacob Plemons a 19.872.
Jude just dropped in there with a 19.83 and he's in fourth. Woody Mahan's still the man to beat. Colin Kisner goes third with his time of 19.23 or 24, sorry. It's fast and furious. There shouldn't be many cars left. I don't know if anyone's failed to set a time in terms of hitting the wall. Can't see Andrew Serwick's name up there, so maybe he has or he hasn't gone out yet.
Looks like he hasn't been out yet, so
A few people waiting to see what the times are, I guess.
actually no, he did complete one lap. He must have hit the wall because it's showing here 1.04 seconds. So Forrest Bola, who was quickest in practice, a 19.171, puts him in 9th place. I think that's going to be it for our qualifiers. Dan Skilton's gone through his 2. Oh, we got Brock Whiteman coming out of the pit lane now. Brock Whiteman here in the number 41. He has an I rating of almost 2K, so the man is decent on ovals, I would say. One of the higher I ratings here.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, he usually does qualify at the front. Again, as we mentioned last week, he just doesn't seem to get the luck in the races. So we'll see what if he can get a bit of luck tonight, just to finish off his season. Although I'm sure if he looks at the season as a whole, he will not be happy because qualifying performance is very spaced to results is probably way down. Brock probably leaving again too. No one's really touching that wall enough. You really need to, if you want to get the optimal line and optimal lap, you really need to just push against that wall out of 4. It's sort of it looks more treacherous than it is because the track like sort of curves you into it, so it never it doesn't come at you as fast as you would think basically. But anyway, Brock Warren goes P5. I believe we may be done now.
Yes, I think everybody going. I don't see Austin Armstrong or DeAndre Young who have put in a lap, but I would bet they're not coming out at this point. But somebody to talk about, Frankie Franchica going on the pole, in second place in that number 96, only 0.05 of a second off of Woody Mahan. Of course, the last time we were at an oval, Woody Mahan made a huge mistake under caution, getting on the clutch and the gas at the same time, and released the clutch just a little bit too quick, and put him into a spin. And that unfortunately sent him back to the back of the pack, where he wasn't able to pick up a podium after that. So, fortunate for him, he has another chance at an oval tonight. Yeah, he finished 5th in that race after spinning and wrecking on the caution lap. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Qualifying all that's said and done. Let's take a look at that grid. On the pole, it's going to be the number 20, Woody Mahan. In second place, the number 96, Frankie Franchica. In third, the number 11 of Brandon J. Welsh. In fourth place, the number 46 of Colin Kinzer. And wrapping out the top 5, the number 41 of Brock Whiteman.
In P6, we have the number 10 of Dan Skilton, and on the next row, we've got Matt Carroll in 35 in P7. Next to him in P8 will be Nick DeJew in the number 9, and returning to the series, Gregory Charles starting P9 in the 77. And in 10th place is Mark Feeney in the 73.
And outside the top 10, it's going to be the number 34 of Forrest Bullen. In 12th place, the number 709 of Craig Bray. In 13th, the number 90 of Jacob Pellens. And in the 14th spot, the number 22 of Andrew Serwick. And rounding out the 15th spot, the 402 of Cody Barrett.
Our final couple of drivers, 16th is going to be DeAndre Young in the number 2, and then Austin Armstrong in the number 3 is going to start P17, and our last starter tonight is going to be Shady Ahmad in the 98 in P18. So 18 people tonight, Adam, all to play for. I think we're going to go green pretty fast here.
Yes, we are. We're going to get going here. Pace car is off. The green lights will come on around turn number 4. It's an early pit lane. It comes into turn number 2. And that can definitely cause some massive carnage. So we're getting ready here. Woody Mahan on the pole here. It looks like we have some guys starting in the pits. And green flag, and away we go here at the Phoenix Raceway here. And Woody Mahan taking away the lead here, and he's going to try and take off. Brandon Welsh going to be pumped up into that second spot and going to be chased down by Colin Kinzer as they come through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straight they go. Everybody's starting to find their positions here. Andrew Serwick trying to make up some position. He's down in 9th now as Gregory Schroll is on the inside, and he's going to try and take away that position down through the dogleg, through the start-finish line. Some guys diving low and starting to really spread out this field now. Woody Mahan taking about a 10th of a second lead from Colin Kinzer as he moves up into second.
Yeah, we've got a clean start. We're through into lap 2. Andrew Serwick now looking for a move to P6 already. Frankie Franchica's dropped back to P6 to start at the start of this race. So that's unfortunate for him. One thing to mention, you can't actually cut the dogleg in this configuration. I believe you'll get a black flag, so we'll have to watch out for that later on. Potentially with some drivers, but it's all been pretty clean so far. And, Woody Mahan is just ahead of Colin Kisner, who's really on his tail. And Colin's not really an oval specialist, but he's up there tonight.
Looking at this battle here, Gregory Shaw falling down to that 15th position. Gotta wonder if he got black flag because he did fall under the yellow line there. So kind of just depends on where you hit your marks there. So Woody Mahan now battling against Colin Kinzer. Gap about 0.2 of a second. You can just see how close these two are in relation to each other. it's going to get awfully spicy as we continue down here with lap 5 of 95 laps to go. Well, 95 on the board. So no cautions have been thrown yet. I was kind of surprised by that. Last time we had about 6 to 7 cautions here. So now, and really, let's talk about pit strategy here. James, as you're a former race winner here at Phoenix at a Ball Racing Club, what is the pit strategy for this race?
Yeah, you're looking at around 60 laps if it stays green. You know, I mean, you can try and get in earlier, but you lose so many laps under green flag pit stops. You kind of maybe want to stretch it and hope that you get the caution at the end of your stint, and that'll put everyone 2 or 3 laps down. But I'd expect 55, 60 laps for most of these drivers tonight if we get green flag racing to then.
Seeing here, Jacob Plemons trying to make his way up the field. Nick Jadoud in that third spot, about 2/10 off of Craig Bray. Craig Bray trying to hold off everybody behind him who is barking up his tree, because this is going to be very interesting. Now you can see Nick Jadoud having to defend off Jacob Plemons. It's going to be a tough battle here. Here they come through the dog leg once again, and it's going to be absolutely perfect for Nick Jadoud as he got held up, as Jacob Plemons got held up. Now Forrest Bullen making up some positions. Looks like Austin Armstrong is out. Same with DeAndre Young. So those two are out of this race before it even begins.
I believe they probably didn't take. Well, I don't think they've taken the start, so I guess they didn't fancy it in the end. So we've got 16 drivers battling now, and Colin Kisner was really stuck on the gearbox with Woody Mahan. One thing to mention: it is very hard to get a pass done around here. You really need to set it up over a number of laps usually. One good place I always found when I raced here was going around the outside on turn 3 as we're coming up to now, because you just can pinch them down at the bottom and get that better run off the corner, and usually get them done by the time you get that down to turn 1. But at the moment, I assume Colin and Woody are quite happy to just pace it out. They got over a second lead on Brandon J. Welch in third, who's got Brock Whiteman chasing him. But another thing to mention as this race goes on, lap traffic will become a factor later on. So Woody and Colin will have to be very careful once they start getting into the back of the pack, and going to be a lot of picking around carefully. And that's obviously another situation where Colin can try and use a lap car to make the pass. So there's a lot of things in play.
On board here with Frankie Franchica now as we come through turns 3 and 4. Excuse me, 3 and 4 now as they'll cross the start-finish line into the dog leg. They go. Frankie Franchica was supposed to be starting second and ended up not starting on the grid. Ended up coming back out, and now he's raced from the back of the pack, and he's up in the P5. Now he's going to try and make this move. He's side by side almost, and now here they go into turns 3 and 4. He gets down a gear into 5th, and now he's going to try and pull away here. Of course, the aero wash, especially on a track like this, is going to be incredibly difficult because it's semi-banked. It's not really a fully banked track. It's more of a semi-bank through 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is a little bit different as well. So you have to be very cautious. You can just see in the banking on how different it is, especially through the dog leg. That dog leg is incredibly banked compared to 1 and 2.
It really is. Frankie did a good move there to get around Brock, and I think Andrew Serwick's now having a sniff on the back of Brock Wyman because he's right on the back of him at the moment.
Let's head over
in
to
P6.
And he's on the inside.
He's done exactly the same move as Frankie did the lap before, just got it on the inside, and he's going to get the inside line now into 1 and 2, and he should be able to get this move done if he can just wash up in front of Brock, which he has done.
And Brock
so
almost
Andrew
going into the wall.
Yeah, that's one thing we need to watch out as this stint goes on. The tyres do wear a bit here, and you do need to start lifting a bit more into 1 and 2. But Andrew Serwick now into P5 after starting at the back after his qualifying was ruined by picking up an incident. But it's all looking good at the moment. Jacob Plemons at the back there, he's fighting with Cody Barrett. And I assume our leaders must be coming pretty close to the back of the pack now. Colin Kisner and Woody Mahan still striding away from Brandon J. Welch over 2 seconds now. So they'll be quite happy with this at the moment.
Woody Mahan still driving away with the race lead here. He has about a half a second gap onto Colin Kinzer, but if there's anything we know about Colin Kinzer, he is a man who can fight back hard and end up winning races, except he looks like he is having a little bit of technical difficulties because saw him blink there. That is due to the fact of a upload packet loss. Of course, iRacing now being more detailed on when somebody disconnects or drops like that. It is more due to the upload more than to the connection to the person. So
Yeah, it's a horrible thing to have to race against people who are blinking in and out because you just do not, well, you just don't know where they are, and it can cause incidents. But
well, Matt
at the
Carroll
moment, it's all good. Sorry. Yep, Matt Carroll is on the back of Brock Whiteman. So Brock's actually had a, I don't know whether he's burnt his tyres out early, but he's dropping back unfortunately now. It's going into lap 22 of this race, and Matt Carroll now fancies his chances. He might look for the high side.
Let's take a look at the number of positions gained here. Look, oh, Matt Carroll side by side through turn 4 in this, turn 2 as they go down to the back straight, and Matt Carroll gets the job done on Brock Whiteman. Brock Whiteman not having a good race up there. You got to wonder if those tires are starting to not be as good as they did at the beginning and starting to wear a little bit again. It's different banking, so the tire wear is going to be different in all parts of the track because you have a semi-banked turn 1 and 2, and then not a fully banked, still semi-banked, but much more banked 3 and 4, and then you're going through the dog leg. So the tires are going to get more and more wear as this goes on, and 1 and 2 is going to seem like a struggle compared to 3 and 4.
It really is. You kind of need to get on the tools and make some adjustments to loosen your car up a little bit. Another thing that helps later in the run is shifting down to 4th gear through 3 and 4. So you kind of just have to, understand how to help your car when it's not handling as good as it was at the start. But at the moment, things are looking pretty stretched out. So it's been a very good opening stint. Almost 30 laps now. Some drivers will be maybe paying, having a few benefits if they've held, they've looked after the tyres in this first half of this stint.
Well, Frankie Franchica able to make up another position. He moves up into P3 now, and now he's getting into lap traffic with Craig Bray there in P15. So now it's going to be an absolute battle here as they come in to turns 3 and 4. Craig Bray staying on the inside, just trying to stay cleared, run his own race here, and not getting away at Frankie Franchica. And Frankie Franchica makes it look easy and gets by the lap traffic. And now he is free to chase down Colin Kinzer, but that is definitely going to be one of the issues here in this race, is trying to chase down guys, especially now it's about a 3-second gap between Frankie Franchica and Colin Kinzer.
It really will be a difficult battle to get back on the back of him. He's maybe getting a 10th, losing a 10th here. It's all going to be a case of chipping away slowly and hopefully being there at the end as this green flag run continues. Got Cody Barrett now on the inside of Mark Feeney.
Mark
So
Feeney
he's
will
battling
lose the
for
position.
9%. Yep, Cody Barrett will be happy with that, and he's up to P9. Mark Feeney, he maybe is struggling with his tyres. There's Gregory Shaw behind him, and also Forrest Bullen, I think, is in here. Or is that Matt Carroll lapping him?
Well, Forrest Bullen's losing a position here to Gregory Shaw. So yes,
someone hit the wall. I think that was Shady Ahmad. He's hit the wall hard there. That's going to need a trip to pit road because it'll probably have damaged his car significantly.
Looking at the damage here, doesn't look like too much significant damage, but definitely enough for him to come in. So
yeah, I thought it was a good hit. I think it would have been a case of where iRacing says, "Sorry, mate, your car's going to be a bit slower now than everyone else." And I've had races here like that, and it's horrible.
Well, he comes into the pit lane. Nick Jaduda as well into the pit lane as well. So must have been two separate incidences with that. But we're still remaining green. Lap 34 of 95 here with Woody Mahan still out there in the lead. He has a 1.7 second advantage over Colin Kinzer now, and that gap between Colin Kinzer and Frankie Franchica has now dropped to 2.6 seconds.
Yep, I think Colin may have burnt up his tyres to start with. He's dropped back a lot, and I think Frankie Francica might be think he can get on the back of him and then get up to P2. But he said Woody Mayhan is just strolling out in front at the moment.
Looking at Brock Whiteman as he loses another position, he says that's enough. I'm going to come in and get new tires.
Yeah, this is the strategy game now. It's some people might try and risk an early stop, but you lose so many laps here. It's a gamble because a yellow flag would now you'll be 2 or 3 laps down, and then there's no way back. But also we look at Andrew Serwick, who's up to P5. He started at the back and he got his way up to P5. He hasn't been able to make any headway since then. He has got Brandon J. Welch in front of him, and if he can get up into P4, he'll maybe think he can get onto the back of Colin because it's not that far up the road, and he seems to be struggling a bit.
The only time Andrew Serwick has been on the podium at all this season was at Gateway where he won it. He has not been on the podium since, and that's got to say something, especially from the 3-time champion.
Yeah, he's had a very poor season by his standards, and he knows that. He's not shy to admit it, unfortunately. It's worth noting this is actually probably going to be his last full-time season, so it's not the best way to go out for him. But a win today would be a nice little cap on a very difficult season. So
looking through here,
stands, I was going to say that the people who've pitted, you can see they're about half a second faster than the rest of the field. So if this does go through a green cycle, Brock Whiteman, Shady Ahmad could end up pretty much in the lead, just because they're getting like half a second a lap at the moment on the rest of the field. But it's a big but. They need this to go through a whole green cycle because they're also like 1 or 2 laps down at the moment.
Forrest Bowman down the inside of Mark Feeney. He's going to pick up that 9th position, and Mark Feeney down to 10th now. And that's going to enable here Mark Feeney to have to defend now against Gregory Shull, who's about 3/10 off of his rear bumper.
Yeah, this is our closest battle at the moment. Gregory Shull is really getting close to Mark Feeney. He might fancy his chances into turn 1 if he can flip it on the inside. But he has done that. You can see it in the background there, but I don't think he's got enough to clear him. So Gregory Shull might, again, try and set it up into turn 3 or 4. I think the high side would work better at this stage of the game. But we'll see. He's right. He's got the pass done, but he was on the inside. So Brock Whiteman, he is praying that we don't get a caution. And if we don't get a caution, he's in a very good position, I would say.
Yep, he's only a lap down on everybody in front of him, so that will assist him here. He's about 7/10 off of Matt Carroll. So he is just trying to move himself through the field. Let's see what his last lap time was. Was it 19.5 while Frankie Francica. Oh, Colin Kinser's into the pits.
Yep, this I think we'll see a lot of people dipping in now. It's kind of that time. You can see Brock Whiteman was like half a second ahead of what Woody Mayer's sort of 20.3 there. Brock Whiteman's doing 19.5. So, this is how much you gain if this risk pays off. It'll be right at the back if you're not in the lead by the end of this, Brock Whiteman, just because of the advantage he's had for the last 5 or 10 laps, taking that early stop and that early gamble.
Looking at Forrest Bowman now as he's chasing down Dan Skilton, about 4/10 off the rear bumper here of Dan Skilton. And Dan Skilton, he's taking that higher side, but he loses so much time out of turn 4, and now he's going to be right into the clutches here of Forrest Bowman, who goes on the outside, going to try and hold it through 1 and 2, and now he's going to dive down, and the move is going to be complete here, as now Mr. Bolin, in his first appearance here at Apollo Racing Club, moves himself up into P7. Now he's going to be enabled here. Start chasing down some guys here like Cody Barrett. And there's Colin Kinser coming out of the pit lane now. He's going to be in traffic. He's going to be in 12th place, and he is now a lap down. And this is going to enable Brock Whiteman to try and get up to him as quickly as he can.
Yeah, he's actually, I think he's come out quite a bit of a distance away from him, but
About 13 seconds.
yeah. So Colin now is potentially in the ascendancy. But
Gregory
again, sorry.
Gregory Shull currently trying to chase down Dan Skilton, as now he is in P9, just holding on to as hard as he can here. Looks like somebody's trying to pass him. That's Shady Ahmad, who's currently in P14. It is lap traffic, of course, no blue flags here. Andrew Serwick and Mark Feeney are both in the pits.
Yep, like I said, I think everyone will be coming in the next couple of laps. Shady Ahmad's got a tire advantage on the people he's around at the moment, but he couldn't get the move done, so it's not helping his cause.
Well, now you got to be careful because Woody Mayhem is coming through now, and you can see him. He's that black and purple car, being right behind Gregory Shaw, and as we go through turns at 1 and 2.
Yeah, Woody's he's in a situation where does he pit now and potentially lose the race, or does he just hold on for as long as possible?
Well, he's got at this point, he's in a one-stop window. I think guys who pitted prior to lap 50 are not within that one-stop window. For Woody Mayhem, he's trying to put himself in a window where he only has to stop once, even though the tires are going to be rough at the end. But if you pitted on lap 40, 41, 42, you're not going to make it to the end on a full fuel tank.
It'll be touch and go. I think even Brock and that should be able to make it to the end. It's going to be they'll be on the very edge of what is possible, but I think you can usually push over 60 laps out of a tank here, so it shouldn't be an issue. Hopefully for those drivers, because definitely if you make a second stop, you're going to be in no man's land. Brock Whiteman now looking to P10. He's under Jacob Plemons. Well, looks like he's dived into the pit lane.
Matt Carroll also gets past by Brock Whiteman. He's up in the 9th place. This is a guy we're going to keep our eyes on, because if he can end his season on a high, that will give him a lot of confidence going into next season. Of course, there is no announcement yet about next season's calendar. That will be coming out later, probably later in the month. Of course, with Christmas coming up, that's going to cause some little bit of havoc, so it wouldn't surprise me if we don't start up again until 2023. So,
yeah, I would imagine they'll either start just before, like the start of December, or it'll be the new year. But
of course, James, you won't be here, as you'll get to do some pretty unique things during that time.
yeah, I will be away, so people have to put my voice for like 6 weeks. But hey,
I mean, not many people know much about you, I would say, who watch this broadcast. What do you get to do in those 6 weeks of December and into January?
rather not say.
You'd rather not say.
Yeah.
Is it classified information?
Yeah, no, it's not, but I don't want to. You made it awkward, Adam.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
talk about Brandon J. Welsh going into the pits. There we go.
There we go. Cody Barrett now will be the race leader.
Yeah, Woody Mayans decided to go in. Frankie Franchica followed him in there, so we'll see if Colin and Andrew can get at least on the back of Woody after the pit stop cycle is complete. I think Cody Barrett, who's just coming to pit now, is the last person who needed to pit.
Forrest Bullen
falls in.
Woody Mayhem,
So
he's still in the pits. He's just getting his tires now. He's going to be coming out. He's going to be behind Colin Kinzer. But again, Colin Kinzer pitted very, very early. He pitted on lap 46.
Yep. He's got a good lead there. So Woody's really going to have to work hard to gain that back. This is what I say. When you pit early, it's sort of it's massive dice roll on ovals because you can get trapped a lap down, but when it pays off, like as you see with Colin, he went from probably 2 or 3 seconds behind Woody when he pitted. He's got
Well,
a
now,
4-second lead.
well, Brock Whiteman puts himself in the 6th now, as Frankie Franchica is currently chasing down the leaders. He's got a 3.1 second gap between him and Woody Mahan. I think Woody Mahan still has a shot at winning this race because of how early Colin Kinser boxed. Again, lap 46. I don't see that lasting to the end.
We'll have to see. Woody Mahan though is taking out 4/10 of a second in a lap there on him. I think that this should be fine. I mean, we just saw that, people running 55, 50, 60 laps in a stint there. So I think fuel to the end is not going to play into a factor for these drivers. They should all be good to the end here. The only ones who may be borderline are Brock Whiteman and Shady Amadi, who pitted way earlier, due to circumstances, and Brock Whiteman, who just decided to roll the dice at the point because he was just dropping back. I'd say Woody, Frankie Franchica, and Andrew Serwick are definitely not out of this. Colin's going to have to work hard to keep these at bay. He just needs to keep in his marks and trying to minimise his time loss, because he's obviously the disadvantage on the tyres by 10 laps or so.
Matt Carroll currently P70. He's chasing down Brock Whiteman now 0.2 of a second as he come through 1 and 2. Is this 3 and 4? Yeah, 3 and 4. It's hard to tell from this angle.
It is 3 and 4 these days. Obviously, Phoenix got reconfigured a few years back, and the old 1 and 2 is now 3 and 4, and obviously this used to be the old one. This used to be 3 and 4. This used to be the start-finish straight.
And we have our first caution, and it looks like it's going to be caused by Cody Barrett.
Oh, man.
Oh, my.
He's still rolling, though, so he shouldn't lose a lap. Well, he shouldn't lose any more laps. I don't know if he's a lap down. But, yep, we went 70 laps, and now drivers have got a decision to make. Do they come back to pit road, get some fresh tyres, or do they take the track position? If it was me, I'd keep the track position. But that's going to be a decision that Colin's really going to have to make now. He is at the disadvantage.
Take a look here at Cody Barrett. He just got way loose. He took the bottom side.
He caught the apron, and that's a big no-no with these cars. And you can see the result there. Big wiggle and a big snap into the wall, unfortunately. Yeah.
That's very unfortunate for him.
Yeah, you're in the hands of the gods once you clip that apron, unfortunately. But he's still moving. And like I said, he'll not lose too much. And Colin did decide to pit.
So he'll have the fresh tires.
Sorry, he will have the fresh tires, but he's not going to have the track position, unfortunately. I think there's only 7 cars on the lead lap, though, so he'll have that going for him as he pops out now, just behind the broken car of Cody Barrett, but I think he'll have to let all these cars pass. So Colin and Brock now got the work to do. They now have the advantage. We're going to have about 20 laps to go. Woody Mahan back at the front, Frankie Franchica, and Andrew Serwick, who we definitely can't write off, is there in 3rd. So we're going to have a great shootout here, hopefully, in the final 20 laps.
Andrew Serwick up in the P3 now has gained 11 spots, so he has been on a rampage. This puts Frankie Franchica back in his original starting spot. Will be very interesting to see how this is going to work out for Frankie. Let's take a look at top speeds here. Well, that doesn't give me anything.
Impressive 98 miles an hour by Woody Mahan, who's driving a Formula V, apparently.
Let's see. Let's see best lap times. Let's see if that gives me anything. There we go. Fastest man currently is Forrest Bolin of 19.317. The man's been quick. He's about 600 of a second quicker than Woody Mahan.
Yeah, he's just unfortunately trapped a lap down now. So very unfortunate. But yeah, obviously it sounds like as the run's gone on, he's got more adapt to the track and he's picked up his pace. So it's someone to watch out for in the future. We'll see where he finishes today, because obviously it's 20 odd laps and anything can happen, especially in this league. So yeah, I think he'll be happy with his first day on the job, so to speak. Sitting P8. Another thing to note, sorry for the drivers who have pitted, they're going to start behind all the lap traffic, so that's really going to hamper them as they try and march to the front. Because, as you say, blue flags, they're just, they're not mandatory here. You have to get out of the way. I believe we're going back to green as well this lap.
Looks like we are. The pace car is in, of course. The pit entry comes into turn 2, so that's where you're supposed to pit. So the pace car goes in that time. Woody Mahan will be the race leader here, and he has Frankie Franchica about another car behind him, because you can see there that is going to be Dan Skilton right behind Woody Mahan. Time to go. Here we go. Green, green, green. And Woody Mahan just gets an electrifying start, and he is going to take off. It's going to be a lot of work for these guys behind. You can see Andrew Serwick in the background. Here comes Dan Skilton trying to get around Dan Skilton.
These two really need to get these lap cars out of the way quick. Andrew Serwick's right on the back of Frankie, but he had to back off there. So Frankie's now trying to get around Dan Skilton, and then he can get on Woody Mahan, who's already got a second lead. So he'll be smiling. He'll not want another caution, that's for sure, because he is flying away at the moment. Dan Skilton not helping these guys. He doesn't have to. He's the first of the guys lap down. So Frankie Ranchuka needs to be careful here. He needs to figure out what he's doing. And there he goes on the inside. Gets the move done. Andrew Serwick now, he'll want to get past as soon as possible, because he doesn't want to lose too much time to these two front two. And he's going around the outside, and he's got that move done. Gregory Charles has gone round Dan Skilton and all that, so...
Oh, we've had a crash.
We've not had a yellow, though, so... Who crashed, do you know?
Let's see here. Is Colin Kinzer, Brock Whiteman?
Oh, no, it's not Brock Whiteman, is it? Oh, man.
Oh, my.
Oh, my word. Wow.
And then
caution.
Well, the caution just came back out, and let's take a look here. What happened to Colin Kinzer? Oh, he just gets loose. Oh, slams in hard into the wall.
Yeah, I don't think he realised his rear wing was off. And once your rear wing's off, you have absolutely no hope in the corners. It's like ice. And you need to put the weight tracker at -20. I'm not kidding. I happened to be at California in a fixed race. My wing got damaged, and I was running 6-1 and -15 just to keep it going until I got a lucky caution. But yeah, it's unfortunate because Colin was definitely in the running early. But again, this is probably when you start at the back. You have to work your way through this traffic, and that's when accidents happen. But I think this may actually fall now into the situation where the black cars are stuck to the back of the field. So that will help Brock Whiteman and Forrest Bullen, who are the last two cars on the lead lap, get ahead of all the lap cars that may have been between them and the leaders. Woody Mahan definitely didn't want to see that, because he was so far ahead, and he was probably just smiling and knowing he only had to
Whiteman pits.
Okay. Well, I suppose he would have maybe had damage because he got caught up in that incident with Collins. So.
Well, let's take a look here. I want to take a look at that with Cody Barrett's perspective on this.
It's gonna.
Oh my lord! Just gets into the fence.
Cheese grater time.
Oi oi oi!
That would not be a pretty accident in real life. Luckily,
No.
this is the iRacing, so there's a lot less issues. But yeah, Brock Wyman just gave Colin a little love tap there, and Cody Barrett. Wow, he caused the first caution, and then he's got caught up in this one. He's not had the best of days at Phoenix in his cone car.
Brock Whiteman coming out of the pits. Let's see what happened here.
He didn't spin, did he? He did.
He did. Got it back
Yeah,
going, though.
Little show for the fans. Get a bit of tea in the old tyres. So it's like I say, we'll have to see where the if we get to that point where the lap cars are pushed behind. It might not, because I think it's only like 10 laps on iRacing rather than 20 in real life. So I think it'll just be before that cut off. So anyone who's behind the lap traffic will still be behind the lap traffic on this restart. But we do have our front three ready and primed to battle for these final 10, 12 laps that we have once we get going green again. And I can see the lights around the pace car already.
Who do you think was at fault for between Brock Whiteman and Colin Kinsaro? I would like to say probably Colin. He came down pretty hard onto Brock Whiteman and got pretty close. I mean, not, both of them probably could have done a little bit more, but it seemed like Brock Whiteman didn't really have really much to go, like on the bottom side there.
No, maybe it was slightly more Colin, but like I said, they both could have probably done more. But I don't really want to blame one or the other. It was very much a racing incident. I just felt sorry for Cody getting caught up in the melee, and Woody Mayan's taken an early jump there, and he's caught Frankie Francica and Andrew Serwick totally cold.
Well, Andrew Serwick was able to get a good start because he's able to stick along with Frankie Francica, but he can't go anywhere unless Frankie starts pressing on the throttle. So now Frankie Francica 8/10 of a second down. This is going to give an opportunity for Andrew Serwick to maybe make a move, but it's not going to be made around the outside. You got to wait for him to slide up the track and maybe gain a position. Maybe, hopefully, Frankie Francica for Andrew Serwick will get a little bit of understeer through turn 4, because that's where it seems like a lot of the understeer will happen.
Yeah, it's very hard to make a move stick. He's going to have to really force it if he does get on the back of Frankie at the moment. But at the moment, he seems to drop back too much to really have a real chance on him. But further back, we've got Matt Carroll now, P5 on the day. He's on the back of a lap car, I believe, of Dan Skilton. So around the outside he goes, and now he can maybe get onto the back of Brandon J. Welch and try and get fourth before this day's done.
Well, now Frankie Francica making up 2/10 of a second now with 11 to go here at Phoenix Speedway. And this is when it's going to get awfully spicy, because for Frankie, Frankie pitted on lap. When was this pit? Looks like it was on lap 50, I think.
Yeah, I think Frankie and Woody came down around the same time, so there shouldn't be too much difference on the old tire delta there.
Well, Woody Mahan came in on 61.
Okay.
So yeah, about 11 laps between each other. So Woody Mahan's going to have fresher tires and a lot more fuel in that car as we hit lap 87. We'll have to hit lap 80, and we'll have now only about 8 laps to go in this one. The timer right now, 34 minutes, 35 minutes. We're going to have this race over with in about 40 minutes.
Yeah, they've been very good at the end of the season after some very interesting races early on. So we'll see. I just hope we get a finish under green, because that's always the way you want to see it. And Woody Mahan, if he does finish this out, he's been the class of the field tonight. You have to hold your hat up to him, or take your hat off to him even.
Mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. Brock Whiteman has had a crash. Oh no, excuse me. Not a whole lot of action. That's why. So
yeah. Sorry, Forrest Bullen's pitted. So I don't know if he's had an incident or if he needed fuel.
He's lost his wing.
He must have caught a wall. Unfortunately, he went over his pit stop as well. That's very easy to do. I'm an expert at that. Too far forward. Yeah, I know. Every time iRacing. Too far forward.
How about you give me my marks then, better iRacing?
I know, it's so much pain. So Woody Mayan is 4 laps from the end here. Can he see this out? Frankie Franchica less than half a second behind. He's closing that gap slowly. He might fancy a chance on the final lap. Andrew Serwick, who's watched his watch P3, but P3 looks like his limit without an incident involving these two front runners because he's dropped back by 2.5 seconds.
Well, Woody Mahan right now still leading this race against Frankie Franchica. Less than 4 tenths between the two, but Woody Mahan just hitting all his marks at this point. He's staying low. He's not allowing that car to really understeer much, but just loses a bit of time. It seems, especially through the dog leg, he's not taking the faster line, but I think he's just trying to preserve his tires and not do anything too dangerous as we now hit 2 laps to go.
Yeah, he's giving himself a wide berth for the walls, which is all he needs to do. Frankie's really pushing, but I think he's going to run out. He's on the white flag lap.
Yep.
Literally 2 corners to go almost for Woody Mayan to see this out and win, I believe, his first race in ARC. So,
And he comes around turn 4 here. Woody Mahan will take the checkered flag. Frankie Franchica in second. Andrew Serwick will finally get his second podium of the season in P3. Brandon Welsh in P4. Matt Carroll in P5. Brock Whiteman will round out the lead lap cars in P6. Gregory Shaw in that 7th position. Dan Skilton in 8th. And Mark Feeny in 9th. With Jacob Hellens in 10th.
Colin Kisner had a great run going early, but he's going to come home P11. Next to him in P12 is Craig Bray. As Colin decides to end the season on his lid. Shady Ahmad is going to finish P13. He had that early incident with the wall, which severely set him back. And then Forrest Bullen, who had to make a very late pit stop, is P14 and our final finisher for the day. Cody Barrett retired, unfortunately, and finishes P15. And our final driver is going to be Nick DeJew, who unfortunately retired early. So there we are. What a fantastic end to the season.
Yeah, so good, fantastic. Let's take a look at those results here one more time. Woody Mahan takes a win on the season and rounds out his season with a win. And of course, Frankie Franchica getting second, Andrew Serwick third, and Brandon Welsh fourth, Matt Carroll fifth. So there's the top 5. We'll take a break here. We'll get our top 3 here in the booth. And we'll have we'll have our final drivers interview of the Apollo Racing Club IndyCar Racing League. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few moments.
I understand.
Joining us in the commentary booth now is Andrew Serwick finishing up third. Andrew, You wrap up the season finally back on the podium after getting the win gateway on our second race of the season. How does that feel to finally get back on the podium?
Well, after this, you know what season I've had, it's it feels good. Kind of a somber thing too, because it's my last full-time season. Um, with starting a new job and everything, gonna not be able to race every week, but I'll be here as often as I possibly can. But good result, obviously. Starting 14th, had a mistake in qualifying and spun, so outwent my average. So uh, yeah, that was a fun race though overall.
Yeah, two cautions out on the evening. Of course, it's nice to see. Of course, Andrew Serwick being the admin of the IndyCar iRacing League here at Apollo Racing Club. Andrew, you said rough season. You're a three-time champion here,
2 time.
two-time. I thought you were three, but
No,
I,
David's 3.
David's three. You're two. Um,
Yes.
what I guess when you look back at this season, how would you describe it for you for this season?
Um, Compared to any season prior to this, it's horrible. Just not what I wanted it to be at all. I'd have good runs and suddenly, I make a mistake or just get put in a bad spot or caught out with bad luck or something. Just always something going wrong this season. So some things in my control, some things out of mine. So, but to wrap it up on the podium, it feels good. But yeah, this season overall has just not been up to my standards.
hmm Brody Gardner was crowned champion last week. How nice is it to see a new face that has the championship now?
Well, I mean, I wish it was me that was the champion, obviously. Um, but no, it's nice to see. Obviously, with David and I dominating the past, you know, 5 seasons prior. Um, we with both of us finishing 1-2 in each of those seasons. Um, yeah, it's just been it's kind of nice to see a new face. Hopefully, next season we get more guys competing up there for wins and for the championship. But yeah, it's exciting times, a new era for sure. Obviously, with both David and I not running full time now, it's it opens up a lot of opportunity for everyone else. But
hmm
yeah, it's exciting.
Um, my last question is this. Of course, we're at the finale now. We're on a break. Any schedule news for next season?
Uh, yeah, so we do have the schedule. I mean, it hasn't been announced on the Discord yet, but I have it pulled up here. I will read off next season's schedule if you would want.
Um, what are our start dates and where are we starting at?
Uh, December 1st is our first race of the season at Auto Club, and then we do Imola, Kentucky, and then we have a 2-week break for the holidays, and then Coda, Indy, and then we'll have a break for Daytona. Then the Indy Road Course, the Milwaukee Mile, Zandvoort, a break for the Bathurst 12 hour, and then we finish off the season Richmond, Laguna Seca, Chicagoland, and Sonoma.
There we go. James, do you have any questions for our third place finisher?
Um, obviously you had another issue in qualifying. When you were starting at the back, how did you approach those early laps? Because obviously, like I said, your season's been strewn with misfortune, and I guess you were thinking the worst when you had that issue.
Yeah, I was thinking, oh boy, here we go again. Um, in the back of the pack, got to fight my way up to the front. But was able to get up to into the top 5 by like lap, I don't know, 15 roughly. So uh, yeah, like I said, I had a lot of pace, so I think if I was able to at least put it in the front 2 or 3 rows, I would have had a shot at the win here. But yeah, it was you know, at first I was like, oh boy, this is not going to end well, but ended up being a pretty decent race for me for once.
Yep. Yeah, you have to, well, it's a good end for you, I guess, after a tough season. One final question: the final restart, or as that final segment went on, you sort of dropped back. Did your tires give up, or did you just not have enough for
Yeah,
Frankie and Woody?
tires were just gone. I was holding on for dear life those last like 7 8 laps, just trying to keep it out of the wall in turns two and turn four. It was really tough. I killed my tires, and plus I had about 10 or so laps older tires than both of them, so it's just a combination of older tires and me being too aggressive too early on those on that set.
Well,
Um,
Andrew, do you have another question, James? Sorry.
no, as I'm done. Thank you
Uh,
very much.
and thank you, Andrew. And of course, we'll miss seeing you full time next season, but hopefully we get to see you just for a few races, and hopefully you can get back into a good rhythm and get back on the podium more often.
Yeah, I should be at the majority of the races at least for the first half of the season. I should be able to race all of them. It's just once the IndyCar season in real life starts and testing starts, that's when I won't be able to be around much. So the first few races definitely be there for sure, though.
All right. Well, congratulations on a podium, and we'll see you in about 4 weeks.
Yep. See you guys in 4 weeks.
Yep. See ya.
See ya.
All right, that was Andrew Serwick joining us here in the commentary booth and finishing third here tonight. Of course, getting our calendar announcement. We'll be getting at December 1st, so an early start before the holidays, get a few races in. So now I don't see Frankie Franchica anywhere, but that means we get to talk to our race winner. Woody, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Woody, you got the race win. You got your first win of the season. How do you feel right now?
I actually feel pretty good. That got really close at the end that I was kind of not expecting at all. But yeah, I feel great actually. How do you guys feel?
That was a great race, but you drove you drove your butt off. It seemed like you had great restarts. It didn't seem like Colin Kinzer was phasing you at all. It was great to watch. Talk us just through your race, and let's just start with qualifying, getting the pole.
Uh, the one thing about the qualifying is it stuck. It stuck lap one, and that was kind of the give was the car was super plow, and it hooked up about midway through the three and four, the short before the start finish line. You could feel it hook up, and uh, I didn't. I just held it and cranked the wheel and kept cranking the wheel, and it stuck. So the qualifying was well, it wasn't sketchy. It just the car was hooked up. The race was. I knew that it was going to matter as soon as the tires started getting some wear on them. So the first 10, 15 laps is super crucial when you're at a tight track like this, and you really have to defend really, really hard. And I know he is really, really fast. So if I could keep him behind me, then I could open something up because his tires were going to have to go away eventually. That was the hope. That was fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the standings here, based on how the points come down, you're definitely going to be at least fifth position, able to defend off Cody Barrett. What you guys had about a 5 point gap between each other. Uh, Top five this season. How does that feel to know that you're there at the top?
Well, I was super late getting into the league, so my drops didn't count, and I had kind of a I don't know, terrible race last week. I got in a couple accidents, which I apologize to those guys for, but I'm really, really excited about next season. The opportunity to race a whole season with these guys and see how it all shakes out.
James, any questions for our race winner?
Yeah, just going back to the race, like obviously the green flag run went to the point where everyone had to pit. What was you feeling with the pit stop? I mean, did you ever consider maybe dropping in early, or were you running it to the end regardless?
there was a point where I was stuck behind 2 or 3 lap cars, and I saw that Colin had jumped in the pits, and it was my thing was I was either going to go with him right when he went in, or once I let it go a little bit, I had to kind of stick it out, and I wasn't necessarily hoping for a caution. I was hoping maybe I could get around the lead cars, get around those lap cars and get some clean air again, so I could start laying some fast laps down. And then once I got in the pits, I was danger close. If it went green the rest of the way, I don't know if I was making it on fuel. I missed the fuel number. So the caution helped me actually.
So that sounds like a lucky break there. I mean, when you came out of the pits, you were 4 seconds behind Colin. I mean, ignoring the fuel situation, do you think you could have drove him down?
I was going to drive him down. I do not know. We chatted a little bit when the caution came out, and because his tires were gassed, but I was the rate I was gaining on him. I'm pretty confident that I was going to use everything up getting to him, and then getting to him is, I would say, 1/4 of the battle. Trying to get by him. I mean, we battled at Michigan. It's not like he's an easy pass, and he's not rolling over. So I think it was. I don't know if I was going to get by him, but I was going to get to him for sure.
Well,
Look, sorry, I was going to say, looking at your season as a whole, like I said, you came to the league late, but you generally were finishing top 5 everywhere. So do you think you have a shot at the championship next year with some of the different tracks we're going to? It's going
Yeah,
to be
I'm really looking forward to it. I like the schedule. I like a lot of people are complaining about Milwaukee. I'm the type of guy that likes Milwaukee because it's kind of like Phoenix a little bit. It's a lot of lift and take care of your stuff, and it's going to be a tough pass. But I I'm not as good at the road courses as I would like to be, and I don't know if I'm going to make up the amount of time that I'm off on the road courses. But if I can make sure I don't bury something and just chuck away a whole bunch of races, I think there's a shot that we can hover around and at least make it interesting, staying as long as we can.
I wish you luck then.
Thanks,
well,
guys.
yeah, thank you for joining us for this season. It was great to see you definitely be up there in the top, and hopefully we'll see you back here on December 1st as we will start a new season here, Season 8 of Apollo Racing Club IndyCar iRacing action. Thank you, Woody, and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. See you December 1st.
And that was Woody Mahan here, our race winner, getting his first race win here at Apollo Racing Club and capping off his season quite well. So, well, James, any final thoughts before we head out for one last time?
Well, like I said, congratulations to Woody on the win today. His first win in ARC. You'd like to think he would definitely be in with a shot at the championship next year. I think that's the biggest thing. We got such a varied calendar coming up. It's going to be a very exciting year for ARC IndyCar. So we'll I'm just looking forward to next season already.
For sure, for sure. Of course, next season, again, starting December 1st at Auto Club. The schedule will be fully announced on Discord. Of course, if you would like to join us, head over to apolloracing.club and fill out the application, or head over. And here's the thing. You can head over to grid-finder.com. We are a Grid Finder approved league. So head on over there and look up Apollo Racing Club and join us today. Of course, thank you to Driver61 supporting Apollo Racing Club. You can use our code which is Driver61ARC, and get 25% off of all services. Well, for everybody here at Apollo Racing Club, we want to thank you for watching, and thank you for watching all season long. Of course, hit the follow button on Twitch and go subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch up with all the action here. Our next broadcast will be Saturday night against with ACC GT3 action, and I'm back again on Sunday with Codemasters F1 Tier 1 action. James and I will be back in the booth to bring you all the action from that race. Well, thank you all so much for watching.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
We've also got the second round of ARC in the IMSA series. That's
Yes.
on Sunday afternoon before the F1.
Moose will
So,
have...
it could be consoling me by the time that I come around to commentating on the F1.
Moose
There
will
it
have...
goes.
Moose McAdams will have the broadcast on Saturday night for ACC, and of course on Saturday afternoon for the ARC iRacing Endurance League, or IMSA ARC. So, well, thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Join us again here at Apollo Racing Club. Of course, good night here from ARC.